I think you're going to love this deep dive because the psychological explanation behind the MAGA crash out over Natalie Harp is so much better than the media is reporting. But you have to go quite a bit deeper than John Ossoff's comments and the MAGA meltdown that ensued to fully appreciate what we just experienced. To catch you up, Natalie Harp is a 30-something blonde woman who is paid $150,000 a year to print positive news stories for Donald Trump to read, among other things. She's also reportedly the person who posted the video comparing the Obamas to gorillas, so that's fun. Now, she's been glued to Trump's side since at least 2018, though for some reason I can't find a single photo with both Melania Trump and Natalie Harp in it. Probably nothing there. Keep her moving. Now, this is a person who reportedly got into the trunk of an SUV after White House staff told her there was no room in the vehicle just so she could stay close to Donald. This is a person who sprinted across a golf course to stay close to him while he golfed, only to then, according to the New York Times, which called her a platinum blonde geyser of positivity, there to buck him up when the going gets rough, write an apology letter to Trump, where she wrote, "I am so sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland, and I want things to always be right between us. I also know I have been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days, and even forgetting to sleep, and only catching a couple hours at a time," before concluding with all my heart, Natalie. Yeesh. So with that in mind, fast forward to the airplane debacle in Turkey, where on the human shield plane, Trump left Marco Rubio fourth in line to the presidency, Scott Bessent fifth in line to the presidency, both of whom allegedly knew they were on the decoy plane, and Stephen Miller, who, when asked, refused to tell reporters if he knew he was on the human shield plane. So now who joined Trump on his secret secure plane? Pete Hegseth, two of Trump's personal aides, and one Natalie Harp. Or in other words, Trump's handlers, his G.I. Joe, and as Maggie Haberman of the New York Times would call her, Trump's human binky, because she makes little Donnie feel better when the world is being mean. Now, this is why when John Ossoff said that Donald Trump would rather fly around with Natalie than do his job, the right-wing media machine went off its rails, with Stephen Humpty Dumpty Chung saying John Jackoff has to be the biggest cuck loser in politics, which is a bold statement for someone who was also on the human shield plane for Trump. Meanwhile, Trump screamed at CNN's Kristen Holmes for simply asking about Natalie, which was followed by a White House Twitter account writing Holmes's kids would one day be sickened and embarrassed to have a parent be so callous and vindictive. The fact is, the entire MAGA meltdown can be summarized in 2 words: narcissistic injury. By definition, this is emotional trauma that overwhelms an individual's defense mechanisms and affects their pride and sense of dignity. Now, critically, mentioning Harp isn't the injury itself. Narcissistic injury is a foundational wound, and when that wound is poked in the future, either accidentally or intentionally, the clinical response is narcissistic rage, a reaction that is wildly disproportionate to the criticism itself. Sound familiar? Trump's response came because it triggered an emotional reaction, rooted in whatever horrible thing happened to him when he was little that resulted in his need to be surrounded by sycophants as an adult. Now, the reason it wasn't just Trump who responded like this is because MAGA itself is the island of misfit toys, and Trump is their king. These people don't love him and need him because of what he does. They love him and need him because of who he is, which is not just a president, but part of their individual identity, resulting in this hive mind meltdown in response to this mostly innocuous comment that for most people resulted in a little more than a chuckle.
So apparently we're all just discovering Natalie Harp. She's 35, she's blonde, she resembles Ivanka, so there's that. She's constantly at Donald Trump's side. There are photos, there are rumors. To be honest, I don't even want to think about whether he's sleeping with her, though it wouldn't shock me. What I want to know is, who is this woman? And why does she have this much influence over and access to the President of the United States? Because Harp wasn't a longtime government official. She wasn't a national security expert or a policy advisor. She graduated from Christian evangelical schools, became nationally known in 2019 after appearing on Fox News to give Trump's right to try law credit for helping her get cancer treatment. Trump saw her on the news. He liked what he saw. He asked her to speak at the 2020 Republican National Convention. Then she hosted One America News, the staunchly pro-Trump network that promotes Christian nationalist ideas. And eventually, she became one of his aides. Today, her title is Special Assistant to the President and Executive Assistant to the President. But her role is a bit unusual. She's been nicknamed Trump's human printer because she literally follows him around with a portable printer, feeding him articles, social media posts, and other information to make sure that the news he gets is the news he wants to see. Think about that. She decides which article, post, poll, or conspiracy theory gets put in front of the president in the first place. She's involved in his Truth Social account. She attends lots of his Oval Office meetings. She travels with him. And then it gets personal. Harp has left Trump intensely devoted letters saying things like, quote, "You are all that matters to me," calling him her, quote, guardian and protector in this life. And Trump has told aides that Harp was the only person who loved him as much as his wife and children, and that she'd never leave him. Maybe the relationship is romantic, maybe it's not, we don't know. But what we do know is that Miss Harp joined Trump in that very small circle when he evacuated during that security threat in Turkey. Remember the one where cabinet members and the press were left behind on the decoy plane? So there's definitely something going on. And what I want to know is what exactly is her role in this White House? What information does she have access to? What security clearance does she have? What classified information can she access? Who determines what information she puts in front of the president? How much control does she have over Trump's social media communications? Who supervises her? Who vets the information she gives him? Because presidents have always had trusted aides. Some have had mistresses. That's not the scandal. The question is whether someone with enormous informal influence over this president of the United States is operating with the transparency, oversight, and accountability that should come with that influence. So sure, let's dish on whether Trump is having an affair with her, but I'd rather know who's vetting the person who appears to be helping vet the reality for a president of the United States who is clearly losing grasp of it, because that affects all of us.
Unbelievable news breaking right now as we are learning that Trump is considering appointing his aide, Natalie Harp, the human binky, the human printer, as his new White House press secretary. Like, what? Okay, he might be considering this, but we don't know. He hasn't named anyone officially. We know that Scott Jennings, who is on CNN as a contributor, is trying to vie for the job as well. He was out there defending Natalie Harp, sending them clips, trying to meet with the chief of staff. So he's trying to get this job, but it appears that Trump himself is looking at Natalie Harp to possibly take over the role. And boy, would that be something. I'm going to do a full breakdown of this and what led to this whole Natalie Harp controversy and how we're learning that she worked directly with Trump as his most personal aide for a year without a security clearance. Full breakdown will be on my YouTube and Substack in long form. Go check it out there, link in the bio. Let me know what you guys think about all this, and I'll see you back here for the 411.
You are all that matters to me. With all my heart, Natalie. I don't ever want to let you down. With all my heart, Natalie. Thank you for being my guardian and protector in this life. With all my heart, Natalie. You're the Alpha and the Omega and the be-all, end-all. What would I be without you? With all my heart, Natalie. I want to get back to that synergy where we talk about everything and nothing. With all my heart, Natalie. I want to bring you joy, to feel like we can get through a day without ever having to talk work. With all my heart, Natalie. I want things to always be right between us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. With all my heart, Natalie. After going through all this self-analysis, my conclusion, I need to reunite my past self with my current into a better version who will make you proud. And please, when I fail, will you tell me? You have the absolute right to cuss me out, if need be, when I deserve it, because no one knows or cares about me more. Thank you for always being there for me. I'll never forget when you made that promise to me after losing my dad. To modify a classic, I could not have parted with you to anyone less worthy, and I will add, it is I who am unworthy. Always, Natalie. With all my heart, Natalie.
As someone who loathes Donald Trump, I'm both fascinated and appalled by those who love him. And Natalie Harp, who does she love him? She worships him. In fact, she writes him letters saying he's all that matters to her. She actually credits him for saving her life. Yeah, she says that he got the medication approved that she needed to treat her cancer. Fortunately, that's not true because the FDA had approved it years before. But anyways, Natalie, who is also called the human printer because she just runs around after Trump with a printer and a backup battery to print out anything he needs to read. So heaven forbid he actually save a tree and read it on a screen. But the most interesting thing to me, because I said when I first saw her, well, of course Trump likes her. She's like his come-to-life Ivanka doll. And then I found out she had plastic surgery to get to look like Ivanka. So much ick. So much ick.
Hey guys, I'm at the beach. It's really pretty. But I had a thought and I just wanted to put it out here. And so, like, we know that Trump likes young women and girls, right? And then we're seeing Natalie Harp, who looks like a little teenager who got into her mother's eyeliner. Blonde, mousy, extremely young looking. And so, like, I know that we've made lots of jokes over the years about what is Trump's type, that he says really weird shit about his daughter, and being attracted to her. And, like, that's weird, but I think it's a lot weirder than that. And so I'm gonna put two pictures side by side, and then I'm just gonna leave it at that. So one is Natalie Harp, and the other is Trump's mom. And for your time, here is a lovely view.
You know Natalie Harp, Donald Trump's 35-year-old diaper aide that everyone is saying that he's having an affair with after John Ossoff said this?
He wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace.
And I need you to understand that I've been doing parodies of Natalie Harp for years. And when I do parodies of these MAGA broads, I do my research. So here's all the lore of Natalie Harp. So Natalie's sycophantic relationship with Donald Trump started in 2019 when she attributed her stage 2 bone cancer remission to Donald Trump, saying that he saved her life with his right to try policy from 2018. Even though the medication that actually saved her life was already FDA approved, Donald Trump really liked that kind of adoration and had her speak at the 2020 RNC convention.
Because I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for you.
Donald Trump then rewarded her with a position on his advisory board, and she worked at OAN from 2020 to 2022, where she became one of the biggest and loudest proponents of Donald Trump's election fraud claims of 2020.
We actually did win the White House and the Senate in 2020.
And then she started working for Donald Trump, which is when things started to get really fucking weird. Like in 2024, during Donald Trump's porn star hush money trial, she used to follow him around with a portable printer, printing out positive articles and tweets and anything that would inflate Donald Trump's ego. I used to call her Donald Trump's affirmation aide, but the nickname that actually stuck was the human printer. And during one summer for Donald Trump's 2024 campaign, she actually moved into Mar-a-Lago and first started living in the maid's quarters and then eventually the woman's locker room, just so she could be close to Trump. She has left a series of love letters to Donald Trump in his personal spaces, saying things like, "You are all that matters to me." Trump has reportedly said that she'll never leave him and that nobody loves him more than her, except Melania. Oh, and Melania is not too pleased about their close relationship because Natalie is hopelessly in love with Donald Trump and wants to be his higher purpose bride. And even Secret Service referred to her as the Natalie situation. And Natalie reportedly had plastic surgery to look more like Ivanka Trump, which is giving Fatal Attraction and Obsession vibes. And we all know now that Natalie was with Trump on the getaway plane when he snuck off the decoy plane on a catering truck. But what you might not know is that Natalie was originally on the decoy plane. And when she found out Trump wasn't there, she threw a tantrum and then Trump had her moved to the getaway plane. She is in charge of who speaks to him and what he posts on social media. And apparently everyone at the White House wants her gone except Donald Trump. But do I think that they're having an affair? Yes, I do. Barf. Because Natalie has been throwing herself at Trump for fucking years, and Donald Trump is, well, Donald Trump. So yeah, that's your Natalie Harp lore. Okay, bye.
You know how sick in the head you have to be to have an obsession with the Dollar Tree dictator? That is Natalie Harp, the Dollar Tree dictator's handler. She handles his Truth Social posts. Anything where he's supposed to be talking, she's typing. Right? That's her. I don't know if she changes his diapers or anything like that. I have no idea. That's above me. If she orders his McDonald's or gets his Diet Cokes, I have no idea. I really don't care. But the psychological aspect of what she does and how she feels about this man should not be studied. It should, but we don't give a fuck. And Natalie's brother has basically said that she has been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs for a long time and has an obsession with presidents. He said that when she was 16, she was writing letters to Bush during the Iraq War.
That's obsession. Trump's best friends are people who are his fan club, and so she's his biggest fan. So that's probably why he likes her. She's good looking. She's got a good personality. I don't know.
She left him, the president, a series of letters in personal spaces where she told him, "You're all that matters to me," in one, and another one she writes, "I want to bring you joy." What is your reaction to this? Does this sound like her?
She's written letters to other presidents. Let me put it that way. And so, like, her dream came true finally.
The elevator doesn't go all the way up. That's all I'm saying. I also want to throw this out before I leave. The Dollar Tree dictator's concubine, Melania, has not been seen in months. But guess who we have seen?